how's it feel to be back in the Pacific Northwest?
It feels absolutely amazing to be back. It's only a week since the end of the Premier League season in England, so it's been a bit of a whirlwind week. And getting back is so great because when I'm in England, I feel like I'm miles away from Seattle, although I keep in touch with what's going on. But when I arrive, it's so familiar, and it's such a beautiful city, and it's great to be back in the city and also seeing some old friends as well.
I mean, you're certainly dressed for the weather. You're really acclimated to this Northwest weather. So how much have you been able to follow the Sounders since you've been gone?
Well, the Sounders are making quite a name for themselves in England as well. Obviously, the Premier League is massive, and we've had a successful first season doing it on NBC Sports. But MLS is making a bit of a splash over there. The players that are coming back, so Clint Dempsey and Obafemi Martins, they're players, of course, that Premier League fans know a lot about. It is on domestic television. I've watched probably 3 or 4 games this season on TV at home, which has made me wildly popular with my wife. But I watch as much as I can. I also look at the website soundersfc.com and MLS.com as well, which just keeps me across things. So I know that things have gone very well so far this season. So let's hope for more of the same against San Jose on Saturday night.
Is Rave TV your favorite thing to watch on soundersfc.com?
I pretty much have it on a loop in my office, yes.
That's what I was hoping for. So now you talked about the Sounders, how they're growing in England, but what about just Major League Soccer as a whole with Jermaine Defoe and Michael Bradley and just all the guys that are coming over here to MLS?
Well, I've seen it grow since 2010, since coming over here to be the voice of the Sounders originally, and I've seen the recognition of the league grow in that time. You would probably, and I can say this from personal experience, people would mock it slightly, that you were taking something of an easy option if you went to Major League Soccer, because Americans don't get soccer or football as it's known as over there. But that perception now was wrong at the time, but it's certainly changed amongst the Brits, that they're taking Major League Soccer very seriously. The players are taking it very seriously. 1 or 2 fans are starting to watch it as well. They're seeing the amount of money that's been spent on getting Clint Dempsey back, on getting Michael Bradley back, and Jermaine Defoe saying that he's really enjoying life in Toronto. So MLS will not survive on whether people in Britain like it or not, but it's certainly, I think, good for the league to be taken seriously overseas, because it means that more players can come over here and make the league even better.
Now, you touched on it a little bit as far as you following the Sounders, but how have you seen the Sounders specifically grow since you left? I mean, we've held so many full stadium events now, and just, I mean, the fan base continues to grow as well as the team.
It's just phenomenal, isn't it? And there's going to be more than 50,000 there for the San Jose game. I remember a couple of years ago in Casey Keller's final regular season game, 64,000 people against San Jose, the same opponents, and he made that amazing triple save. It was that was a memorable night, one of many that I spent here. But no, it's growing. It always seems to be growing. There's no let up yet. I still don't think it's realised its potential. And then with the signing of Clint and Obafemi Martins, I know Clint's going to be missing for the game, but that gives another guy like Kenny Cooper an opportunity, and Lamar Nagel's playing superbly. So the Sounders are playing good, open, goal-scoring football, which the fans are responding to. So these are pretty good times for the Seattle Sounders.
Now, what's this weekend going to be like for you, being back in the Sounders booth? A little nostalgic?
Very much so. Just every moment, from landing at SeaTac to driving along the I-5, to seeing downtown, to seeing the Space Needle, to meeting old friends, walking around the city last night. It's been absolutely terrific. And Ross and I go way back. So we're good pals, and obviously he's got a situation at the moment that he needs to take care of. So it's going to be great to work with him again, going back to our BBC days. So the first half on radio, on 97.3, then the second half on television with Casey Keller. So he'll have to try and shut me up during the second half of the game. So it's going to be a fantastic experience. Hopefully there'll be goals and action, and the crowd will be lively, and it's great to have one more opportunity for the road.
And then really quick, I know your guys' story, but for those of the fans that don't know, how do you and Ross know each other, and how far do you guys go back, I guess?
Well, it's well over 10 years, because Ross was a child prodigy as a broadcaster in the UK, as you probably know, and he was working for BBC Radio Derby. And I was slightly older, trying to get into the industry, and Ross and I struck up a relationship very quickly, and I did some non-league, sort of minor league, I suppose, soccer, and I never had the reports to actually show to anybody. A long story short, I remember I kept all the scripts, and I pulled pulled up in the parking lot one day, and Ross was in the office, and he was in the studio, and he said, well, if you phone in and read the scripts, I'll do intros and back annos, as we call them in the industry. So you've got it on tape, I'll record it all, and you can send it off and get jobs. Well, he did that for me, and lo and behold, a few months later, I got a job at national radio on BBC Radio 5 Live. So it was with Ross's help that I was able to do that, and we've kept in touch ever since. And when I knew that I was leaving here, I thought that he would be the perfect man for the job, and he's absolutely killing it here. So it was great to help him back, and we've scratched each other's back. So we do go way back, and we always have a little bit of a drink, and a catch up when I come to town.
Like that, people helping people. And then one last thing, is there anything that you have to do while you're here in Seattle, just to kind of feel that Seattle vibe again?
Oh, that's a really good question. I love going up the Space Needle. I love driving around and just seeing the lakes and the mountains, because we don't get that in the UK really, and the greenery. I hear there's going to be a bit of rain around tomorrow for the game, which is a bit of a shame. But one thing that I'm doing tomorrow, which I didn't get to do in 2 years with the Sounders or with NBC for the season and a half I was covering MLS with them, is do the March to the Match. I'm not sure I'm going to be able to do the actual march, but I might be announcing the starting 11 down there. So I hear that's a fantastic experience, something that Ross speaks very highly about. So that's something I'm going to do and really relish whilst doing it.